So here we are picking up stitches for the collar of the sweater. And what's going to be hard about picking up stitches for the collar, and actually I would recommend when you start picking up stitches for the collar that you work from the center of your back of your collar, because where you pick them up, the join will be slightly different and it'll probably be mostly invisible, but this way you guarantee that that's not really visible in the front of your work. I'm going to go in a little bit because I want to show you what happens as you go from stitches that are lying this direction to stitches that are lying that direction. Oh no, I want to go from the sleeve to the collar. So the stitches here are lying flat as I showed you for the underarm. And then these ones here start to kind of go at an angle for the collar. So it starts to drop down for the collar. So these ones are nice and even, flat back and forth. And then you can see these ones are almost going the other direction entirely. So if I'm picking up for the collar, again, you don't want to pick up for the right at the edge. You want to make sure you're in a row or two. You're going to choose for these nice flat sections the outside or inside stitch. I'm going to choose the outside stitch on this one. I'm going to grab my yarn, put it over the needle. Oops. First one's always slippery. All right, and there we go. So I've got one stitch on. That's the row. I'm going to put the outside stitch. Don't go too high up. I'm one row down. If you're unsure, you can go 2 rows down. In fact, this collar is quite wide, so you could definitely go two rows down and make it a bit easier for yourself and a bit more sure, especially if this is the first time you've ever picked up stitches. So I'm picking up that outside edge. Now here I got sort of a mess with the raglan. This is why I kind of want to show you. As you get to this side here, it becomes more of an art than a science. They start to go kind of this way. So I'm going to pick up, I'm going in a little bit. I don't want to be right on this messy edge. So there's kind of the 2 legs. I'm going to go with this one and grab that outside leg there. And now my stitches are kind of going down the other way. So what you should be doing here is looking for the ladder in between the stitches. So in between the V's, so you can see the V of the stitches kind of moving off to the side there. I'm going to try and find the ladder stitch in between them. So there's a, if I open it up, you can see this one's kind of messy because it's right at the top. Actually, I'm going to go down one and then I can show you a bit more clearly what to do. All right, so this is a bit less messy. So you can see in between these stitches here, there's a ladder. So if I pull it apart, you can see the little ladder in between the stitches, right? So that's what you're going to want to grab when you're going down. Instead of having them this way, they're starting to go up and down, to the left and the right. All right, that one there. Now some of these are kind of, now they're kind of pulling back this way. I tend to do a couple going down over the, actually this one's kind of pulling this way. So as I said, more of an art than a science. So that one's pulling that way. I'm going to choose to do that one the way that we did up over the sleeve and the top of the collar. That's the outside of my stitch. That's the inside of my stitch. I'm going to go over, and I think I'm going to do one more like this. And then I'm going to choose to do one that's going straight down. So looking for the ladder in between. So pull your stitches apart if you need to. There's a ladder in between there. Now this is only for the section that's going from your shoulder to the V at the front of your collar, because these are the only ones that are kind of going in 2 different directions as you're going along. Again, I'm going to pop into now, I just did that one. I'm going to switch over to this one here. Now we're going to get a chance to do this in class as well. So I'll be able to help you through it a little bit, but it's really helpful before the class if you watch this video before the class. So because when I'm in the Zoom class, I may not be able, I'll definitely not be able to show you my work at this angle. You'll be able to maybe hold your stuff up to your camera, but it's really confusing online. So it's best to watch this a few times and get a sense of what you're doing for your collar stitch pickup. Now I'm going to choose another one that's going down now. Again, I'm going in between the stitches and picking up the ladder that's in between. You can see it there. So in between the stitches, nice little ladder. So I'm kind of doing 2 on this, split my yarn. 2 on the side and then 1 going up and down. So 2 sideways, 1, 2, then 1 up and down. And that's how I'm going to go along until I get to the base of my collar. So you can see my needles coming down the side here. And that's where I'm going to be doing a couple sideways and then 1 up and down. And then when I come across here, it's really easy. I'm back to 1, 1, 1 all the way along. When you get back to this side, again, you're going to go, so this is all nice and flat. It starts to turn up again here. You're going to go back to doing 2 flat, 1 perpendicular, 1 up and down, 2 sideways, 1 up and down, until you get all the way around. I hope that's clear. It's something that you will just get comfortable with over time, hopefully, and with practice. And again, it's an art rather than a science. You can pick up a few more stitches than needed for the collar, not too many, but if you pick up an extra 3-4 stitches to make sure you've got enough, too few, 1 or 2 few, that's okay. Just make sure that you pick them up in numbers of 2 for the ribbing. So you can't just pick up, if you're supposed to pick up, I don't know, 100 stitches, you can't pick up 101. You need to pick up 102 or 98. Then you can start working the pattern and not have it turn out weird. It's a 2-stitch repeat. So that's as clear as mud. Yeah, I'll see you guys at the last finishing Zoom meeting